Hi everyone, welcome to the Faster Way to Fat Loss Week 6 live training. We are going to discuss how to adjust macros. I have quite a few housekeeping items to cover as well. As you are hopping on, go ahead and make your way to the chat feature on this Facebook video and tell me your biggest non-scale victory thus far through the Faster Way to Fat Loss. Again, as you guys are hopping on to this Facebook Live, go ahead and make your way to the chat feature. Tell me your biggest non-scale victory thus far through the Faster Way to Fat Loss. I cannot wait to read a few of those comments. As I already mentioned today, we have quite a few housekeeping items to cover. After we discuss those housekeeping items, I am going to tell you if, when, and how to adjust your macros. It is not a question of if you will adjust your macros. It's a question of when and how, if we're being completely honest. In fact, every single person listening to this video will adjust macros at some point, but be sure you stay tuned until the end, or if you have to hop off early, watch the replay because it might kind of shock you. It might surprise you how to adjust those macros to meet your needs. All right, I'm going to go ahead and read some of your comments with your biggest wins thus far through the Fast Way to Fat Loss. I'm so proud of you guys. I know that September can be crazy. In fact, we saw quite a bit of busyness and craziness when the holiday hit, Labor Day weekend. And then, of course, we had clients evacuating their town for the hurricane. It was just a crazy week, but you guys are back at it. You are back on track, so I'm very proud of you. And I know many of you have already signed up for the second round, so pretty excited about that as well. All right, couple wins that I'm gonna read. Darla says, I have more energy. Awesome, so happy for you. Michelle says, good morning, less bloat and able to wear newly rediscovered clothes. Woohoo! I love that. It's so great when your clothes start fitting nicely. Hey, Christy. All right, Sarah says, eating almost all whole foods. I love it. Priscilla, not feeling like I need to eat all the time anymore. Yes. Brittany dropped 2 pant sizes. Awesome job, my friend. Very, very good. Debbie Hodges, better sleep and more energy. That's wonderful. And you guys, I tell you, but let me reiterate once again, my passion, my vision, my goal for you is that I help you get well. So many of you had leaky gut, you had hypothyroidism, you had adrenal fatigue. I want to help you get well, but I also want to help you prevent disease and then fulfill your purpose with the energy and happiness I know you should have. And many times being happier in life and really fulfilling our own goals, it starts with our health. So I'm really thrilled to hear that many of you are sleeping better. You have more energy, more strength, more endurance. That is very exciting. All right, Michelle says, not craving carbs or sweets anymore. I love it. Maria says, biggest non-scale victory, better sleep, better skin, and no pain during my period. That is wonderful. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of my clients will say like, I literally had no bloating, no pain, had no idea that my cycle was even coming. So I love that. Very cool. Claudia said she can do push-ups now. She's increased strength. I love it. Laura says, I'm not sure quite how to pick my biggest. The confidence is probably the best. Woohoo! She says, however, the 14 inches in 2 pant sizes aren't bad either. You guys, we're only at the beginning of week 6. Week 6, not week 16, is called the Faster Way to Fat Loss for a reason. We definitely accelerate those results. So again, I'm just so proud of you. And I'm proud of you for committing and to sticking with it through a very busy season. Because again, end of summer, early fall, it can get crazy. I know, I've been there, done that, literally moved into a new house since we started prep week. So, it's been real busy at the Trust House too, but you guys have committed and you've stayed strong and really started to cement the lifestyle. So very, very proud of you. Couple housekeeping items first. If you love the Faster Way to Fat Loss and you say, Amanda, I've had so many non-scale victories. I have people asking me what I'm doing and how I am transforming my life. I want to now share this program with my friends and family members. If that's the case, I want to invite you to become an affiliate partner of the Faster Way to Fat Loss. I do have an application process for this program. When you become an affiliate partner for the Faster Way to Fat Loss, you will receive a generous commission when you refer a friend or family member to the program. And I say, listen, we're on the same team here. I want to get the Fast Way to Fat Loss into as many households as possible. I do believe it's the most important movement, the most important program on the market today, the best program on the market today. So we're on the same team. If you're an affiliate partner of mine and you share this with your sister or your coworker or your friend or your social media follower, I'm going to gift you with a generous commission, not 20%. We're talking $75 or more per client conversion. So very excited to have many of you on board. I will post the link for that affiliate application. It's just simply fastwaytofatloss.com/affiliate-application. You can apply. I will then accept you if applicable, and we'll get you hooked up with a unique link so you can share the program. Next piece of housekeeping is that our next round is starting on October 15th. If you join the follow-up round of the Fast Way to Fat Loss, you will receive brand new workouts. We're actually working on a returning client portal for this follow-up round. Brand new workouts. You'll have a Macro Gangsta guide that you receive as well. And we are going to be doing some things, kind of shifting some things around with Facebook groups moving forward, kind of putting, more of our returning clients in the small groups together so that you're on the same level. So very excited about that. Also, when you join, I will give you $60 off your returning client round in addition to a free pink tank. I have these really fun pink tanks that say somewhere between a juice cleanse and a donut. This is a limited time offer. I probably won't be doing this moving forward. So again, if you want to snag that free pink tank, $60 off, get some new workouts, and really have the opportunity to cement the lifestyle, go ahead and join this follow-up round. 80% of my clients repeat, okay? 80% of them. They say, in that first round, it was expensive, and I wasn't sure, and I had buyer's remorse, and that prep week was so overwhelming, but then I got into it, and I loved it, and now I want to keep up the momentum. So 80% of my clients do a second round. Now, if you are in your second round, if you're already a returning client and you're on this call, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you join VIP. VIP is my best group, okay? VIP is where we take a deep dive and we say, okay, we are in it for the long haul. We're gonna learn about hypothyroidism. We're gonna learn about adrenal fatigue. I have a hormone health expert as a long-term mentor on that group page. I have a registered dietitian as a long-term mentor on that VIP group page. I have the best personal trainer, the best group X instructor I've literally ever come across, Vivian Gill. She is on that page. Lindsay Reynolds is a client specialist. We have a wonderful community for VIP. If this is already your second round, I highly recommend that you join VIP. If you would like to join VIP, we will start October 1st. All right, so you're going to go right into VIP from your second, third round. We're going to get you going on October 1st. I do have a discount code that you can use just simply for your first month of VIP. It's VIP 25. I will post that in the link, and I'm really bad at details. I think that's the code, but actually don't quote me on the code. I will post it in the details after this call. A couple other things, and then we're going to dive into if, when, and how to adjust macros. I do have a Fast Way to Fat Loss coach certification. It's actually approved for CEUs via NASM and AFA and ISSA. It's a wonderful certification. Many of my clients who love the wellness industry, they've been part of the wellness industry, or they're interested in becoming a part of the wellness industry, they say, listen, I want to now coach other clients through the Faster Way to Fat Loss. I actually want to make this a career. We do have a waiting list for that certification right now. We take on a limited number of coaches. It's a wonderful opportunity. It's the best opportunity in the marketplace today for women who want to make big money in the fitness industry, but we do have a waiting list right now. So it's fastwaytofatloss.com/certification-1 to sign up for the waiting list for the certification. We will open enrollment probably in the fourth quarter. Limited number of coaches, limited time that we open enrollment. So definitely get on the waiting list if you're at all interested. Our coaches are making well over 6 figures in many cases and just rocking it, doing fantastic. We do give a very generous commission to our coaches as well. So thrilled to tell you guys about that. We are going to dive into if, when, and how to adjust macros. I want you to ask yourself the following things before adjusting your macros. First of all, are my current macros working really well for me? If you are one that commented and you're like, I've lost 14 inches and 2 pant sizes and my energy's increased and I'm sleeping better, your macros are working. There is no need to adjust your macros right now. If it ain't broke, girls, don't fix it. Okay, there's no reason to adjust if what we're doing right now is working. However, keep this call in mind when you need to switch in the future. So ask yourself these things. Is it working? If it is, don't adjust. Second thing, have my measurements changed and or are my clothes fitting differently? So maybe you're like, okay, it's the end of the first 6 weeks. I'm going to hop on the scale. Even though Amanda says, don't worry about hopping on the scale, weight on the scale, number on the scale doesn't matter. I'm still going to hop. And I saw that my weight is exactly the same as it was when I started, but my measurements have changed and my clothes are fitting better. In fact, there's been some recomposition. We have increased muscle and decreased fat. If that's the case, don't change your macros if your clothes are fitting better, if you are seeing that you're decreasing inches all around. Also ask yourself, have I been getting consistent, good quality sleep? If you are not getting good sleep, I want you to address that first before adjusting your macros, okay? We need to be sure that you're getting good sleep. If you're not sleeping well, if you're not sleeping enough, it is impossible to get or stay lean, okay? If you're not sleeping enough, it's impossible to get or stay lean because of hormones, due to hormones. Now, the exception to this would be if you're in round 2, next round, or you're in VIP and you're like, man, I'm waking up at 2 in the morning, on day 2, low carb day 2 in the morning, can't get back to sleep. We actually might need to bump up your macros a little bit on day 2 low carb, just to be sure that you're able to sleep well. And, of course, there's a lot, involved when it comes to fuel and hormones. So that might be an issue, but also ask yourself, am I stressed or am I feeling overtrained or neglecting to care for myself? If you are chronically stressed, if you have chronically elevated levels of cortisol, if you are neglecting to care for yourself, if you are doing the Fast Way to Fat Loss workouts, plus you're doing Orange Theory, plus you're training for a half marathon with your friend, you are overtraining and you will not be able to get lean if you're overtraining like that. I literally just saw a gal on Instagram yesterday. She's like, I'm, doing these workouts and I'm training for a half marathon and I'm just so tired and I'm depleted and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm trying to eat healthy. And it's like, oh my gosh, I know your problem. Like, hello, you're overtraining. You're not resting. You're not eating it. Like, I know this, and unfortunately people don't listen and they don't want to hear it. They think that less is more when it comes to fuel. Eat less, to lose weight, and work out more to lose weight, where in fact, less is not more. We need to eat more in many cases, and we need to pull back on the workouts. We need to realize that, hey, being in fight or flight all the time, having chronically elevated levels of cortisol all the time is not positive, and it's going to, cause us to take a step back. Also ask yourself, am I approaching my period, and or are there other hormonal things at play? So if you are in menopause or and you're like, I think I might be in a plateau because, my pants are a little bit tight this week. Ask yourself, is there something hormonal at play here before adjusting your macros? I don't want you guys to get into this game where you're adjusting macros every week and, you're trying to figure out up and down and all around. It's really better to say, I'm going to stick with macros for 4 to 6 weeks, even 2 months, kind of see where things land, and then I'm going to make an adjustment. Ask yourself, am I properly hydrated, and or have I been indulging in food that is higher in sugar, salt, or alcohol? If you are in your second round and you're like, you know what, Amanda, first round, I was on point. I was really committed. I, stayed pretty clean with my nutrition. Second round, I've been taking my leg day treats a little bit more serious than I've been taking my low carb days. That is a thing. I've watched it happen many, many times. Maybe you've been going to a few more parties than normal. If that's the case, I don't want you to adjust macros because we might just need to kind of tighten it up, clean up your diet a little bit, focus on whole food nutrition again before adjusting macros. If you've asked yourself all those questions and you still feel that you're in a plateau and that your macros aren't working for you right now because, you're really famished before you break your fast the next day, you are even feeling hungry at 8 o'clock before you go to bed, you haven't seen any body composition changes in a little while, again, we're talking 4 to 6 weeks. If that's the case, then we're going to adjust those macros, and here's what we're going to do. We are going to adjust those macros up. okay? We're going to adjust those macros up. We're going to bump them up in most cases, because if you've gone through the 6-week program and you're like, Amanda, I've saw results initially, but now I'm kind of in a plateau. You need more fuel, because what we've done is we've revved up your thyroid function. We've maximized your metabolism. We have developed lean calorie burning muscle, which means we need more fuel to live optimally. We need more fuel to balance hormones. We need more fuel to increase energy. You need fuel. Fuel is so important. So if you're like, yeah, I am in a bit of a plateau, instead of saying, okay, the traditional thought process and what I've done and been told for the past 3 decades is, I see results, but now I'm going to actually drop down my calories even more. I'm going to decrease my calories even more just so that I keep seeing results, and I'm going to start exercising a little bit more. No, we do not want you to do that. Please hear me on this. We do not want you to drop down on macros and increase exercise. That is not going to be helpful, okay? We want you to actually say, all right, I need more fuel now because I've developed more muscle, and I'm going to stick with the same amount of workout, or maybe switch things up a little bit, since we're going to be doing different workouts in VIP, different workouts in round 2. So the way that I want you to bump up is I want you to increase by 5% across the board, carbs, fats, and protein. If you typically have, say, 200 grams of carbs on a regular macro day, I want you to take 200 times 0.05 times 5%, and we're going to increase by 5% across the board. We're going to do the same thing with protein. We're going to do the same thing with fat. Now, here's the tricky part. If you don't have the pro version of MyFitnessPal, which you don't need, you are going to have a little bit of finagling this in MyFitnessPal, because MyFitnessPal really only relies on an algorithm based on the weight on the scale and a few other things in the settings feature. But I want you to just do some fancy math on pen and paper. Pen and paper, do some fancy math, look at the recommendations for regular macro day. I want you to then multiply it times 0.05. We're going to increase by 5%, and 5% can go a long way. 5% increase of fat, that can go a long way. Now, if you do this and you're like, Amanda, I increased my macros and it seems to be helping a little bit in regard to my energy level. I am still sleeping really well. It does seem that I'm, building a little bit more muscle, but I'm feeling kind of bloated on Wednesday, Thursday. If that's the case where you're like, I am a little bit carb sensitive, first I want you to actually eliminate grains, because many of you are sensitive to grains and you don't even know it. So you've been doing the oatmeal and you've been doing this and that, and you actually are kind of sensitive to those foods. So let's really listen to your body and see if maybe you do better just focused on a sweet potato and, some fruit or veggies for carbs. If you are doing that and you're still really having a hard time hitting those carb macros, what I want you to do is consider a split where you go 45% overall macros on regular macro day as carbs, 25% overall macros on regular macro day is protein, and then 30% is fat per usual. So again, that'd be a 45, 25, 30 split. You can consider that. In most cases, you guys are going to want to bump up 5% across the board. If you're carb sensitive and you've done the grain-free lifestyle and you still feel that you're kind of bloated on the the high carb days, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to consider a 45, 25, 30. Hopefully that makes sense. If you're joining a second round, we're going to talk with you about this through your second round. Okay, we're not going to leave you hanging and just try to figure this out on your own. We're going to help you adjust those macros to meet your needs. And remember that your goals are different than my goals. Your goals are different than Susie's goals or Nancy's goals on the page. So don't necessarily I know she's a returning client. She's having 150 grams of carbs and I'm over here with 225. What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. Her goals are different than your goals, so we don't have to compare and see what other people are doing. We're just going to worry about yourself. All right, I am going to read through a couple of your questions. All right. Michelle says, what did you input as your desired weight loss? I'm only putting in 0.5 pounds per week. Seems reasonable. Let's see. Susan says, it is okay to be eating 900 calories on low carb days. This is from MyFitnessPal. On low carb days, you should definitely be at a higher than 900 calories. Yeah, I want you, to be hitting those macro minimums, and for sure, You probably have your settings to where you want to lose like 2 pounds a week or something, which you don't need. I'd say drop it to about 0.5 pounds a week in weight loss, just in those settings. You guys, MyFitnessPal is a tool that we leverage simply to track our macros. It is not the end all be all. In fact, it's kind of generic. It's kind of universal when it comes to the recommendations. And as you go through VIP with me, I say like, listen, we're going to forget about MyFitnessPal recommended. We're going to do like some custom macros. We now have a registered dietitian who's doing custom macros for people in VIP. MyFitnessPal is a great jumpstart, kickstart. It's a great starting point for my clients coming into the Fast Way to Fat Loss, but then we kind of tailor and we change things up as you go through the program and as you continue to develop a lifestyle. All right, Laura says, wondering the best way to enter a recipe into MyFitnessPal, a recipe like pecan date balls. There is actually a recipe area of MyFitnessPal. You might look it up on the browser version versus your phone. You can literally copy paste the entire recipe, all the ingredients, and then you just add the title and it spits out your macros. It's pretty awesome. All right. Katie says, should we ever hop on the scale and adjust our weight on MyFitnessPal, or should we just go off how we feel and assume that those macros are set up and should be bumped up? Yeah, really good question. You do not need to hop on the scale. In fact, smash that scale. The scale is not important. That number on the scale, it's not a good representation of the progress and passion that we're making toward our goals. In fact, I removed the end of program weigh-in a few months ago because what was happening is I'd have ladies, they'd post week 6, day 7 on the group page and they say, listen, Amanda, I'm feeling so energized and I'm stronger and my clothes are fitting better. And I hopped on the scale this morning at the end of the program and I only lost 5 pounds. But then I did my measurements and I realized I lost 14 inches. So that is the reality for many of my clients. You do not have to hop on the scale at the end. In fact, I would encourage you to just throw the scale away. We don't own a scale at the Tress House. My daughter, we walked into a doctor's office or a gym recently and she saw a scale and she's like, what's that? What's that, Mom? You just do not need to worry about the number on the scale. Yay, Denise says, I'm signing up for a second round. I can't wait to have you, Denise. That is awesome. All right, Maria says, what would the ideal macros for maintenance if everything is working fine but you do not want to lose any more weight? So what I would do is actually adjust your macros where you want to be now gaining more muscle. So I am in a season of my life where, postpartum, I'm now 8 months postpartum. I burned all the fat I was hoping to burn. I am as lean as I was before getting pregnant with my third. So now I'm in a situation where I'm working to build up the booty. It's all about like booty and biceps for me this fall. So I'm bumping up my macros because I need more carbohydrates to fuel my workout so that I can lift heavy, specifically on those, Wednesday, Saturday workout days. Then I'm going to have a lot of protein post-workout so that I can build muscle. If you're feeling tired, if you're not getting lean, if you are having trouble sleeping, all these different things, it's a fuel issue, okay? We need to really adjust, and there's no perfect one-size-fits-all formula for macros. That is why I don't say, hey guys, here's a meal plan and here's everyone's macros. Everyone follows the same macros. We don't do that in the Fast Way to Fat Loss because bio-individuality is a thing, and you need different macros than I do. You have different goals than I do. So you just kind of have to play with it. And I know that's not people's favorite answer. They don't want to hear that it's a trial and error issue, but it is a trial and error issue. It is a process. We have to kind of see how we feel. And it's, again, it's not a question of if you need to adjust your macros, it's when and how. And it's going to be at some point, we're going to be bumping up and bumping up. I have VIPers, they're like, listen, I'm doing 2,200 calories now. They're like, I just keep bumping up and I'm getting leaner. It's just amazing. All right, Julie says, just starting to really struggle in the evenings. Any advice for how to combat evening hunger? You need to bump up your macros. Thank you so much for asking that, Julie. If you're hungry, you need to bump up the macros. Have those good fats, healthy fats, have some, good protein, lean protein, and then some complex carbohydrates. I don't want you guys to go to bed hungry. I do not want you to go to bed hungry. If you feel that your stomach is grumbling around 8 o'clock, let's have some fuel because your body needs it. Your body's pretty darn good at telling you what it needs. So let's go ahead and bump up your macros across the board, Julie. That's going to be perfect. All right, Vanessa says, when we start round 2, do we need the prep week again? Will we have a lapse in time? Really, really good question, Vanessa. So what you're going to do is you're going to repeat week 5 and 6 of the program. There is a little bit of a gap. Some of my ladies love that gap. They're like, listen, I'm not going to cycle. I'm just going to do a little bit of fasting, repeat the workouts, and then start back up with the group, when we get moving. Some people don't like it. They're like, I want my accountability group. I need my accountability group. So definitely repeat week 5, 6. Lean on us in the big group if you need to. We'll be adding people to that big group. We've kind of switched up a few things in the way of systems moving forward, but I can't wait to have you again. You're going to love it. All right, Katie says, I've done nothing but gain. Interesting. Okay, you, Katie, need to message us. We can get you hooked up with Allie Dameron. Here's the deal, girls, and many of you probably just read that comment. So we have an incredible success rate with our clients. 95 to 99% of our clients have amazing results. We occasionally have people come in who have some underlying hormonal issues. Maybe they have an estrogen dominance issue. Maybe they are carb sensitive. Maybe they were on birth control and they just recently went off birth control and don't realize that can really kind of cause, different weight gain and different imbalances. So we always say, listen, there is a way to get to the root cause of what's going on with you. Nobody's beyond hope. But occasionally people, there is an underlying issue, maybe a hypothyroidism issue that when underdiagnosed or undiagnosed, maybe a leaky gut issue where people aren't even able to absorb the important nutrients that they need to thrive. But we can help you. We will get you hooked up with the right people. We also just recently launched a supplement line to help people with some of those foundational vitamins, minerals, micronutrients that all of us need. We're very excited about that. We partner with Dr. Stephen Cabral, and we have access to some of the best experts in the wellness industry who are truly genuine about helping people see an amazing transformation. So no one's beyond help. If a couple of you are like, I didn't see the big results that everyone else saw. I see 95% of my group had amazing results and I didn't. It's because there's an underlying issue that we will help you figure out, and we'll get you hooked up with the right people. All right. Anne says, which days are the best days to run? I must run for my sanity. Yeah, absolutely. If you're doing a short run, really any regular macro day, you can obviously do some speed work sprints on Monday, Tuesday. If you're doing a long run, I would probably do that on a Saturday, and you might even do that in lieu of your leg day workout if one of your goals is to, train for a race and hit a PR versus build your booty or whatever the case may be. All right, Michelle says, that's one thing I struggle with, the 24-hour fast. Haven't made it, but I think I need to bump up my macros. If you're having a hard time with the 24-hour fast, first, don't sweat it. We only incorporate that 24-hour fast maybe once a month in VIP, sometimes not even. It is difficult, and the 24-hour fast is really wonderful for certain reasons, but if you're having a hard time, you might consider doing a 24-hour juice cleanse and then definitely bump up the macros the day before. Almost do like a feast day and see how you do through the 24-hour. All right, Claudia, she says, should we stay dairy-free and gluten-free between rounds? Yes, I absolutely would. When you start incorporating dairy or start incorporating gluten, really listen to your body, because it's very likely that you're going to feel that you have some inflammation. Maybe you wake up, you're puffy. So definitely listen to your body if you do incorporate dairy or gluten, even on your leg day, and just kind of see how you feel. All right, Christy, yay, I'm signed up for VIP, personal macro consults, part of the VIP membership. We have the option for personal macro consults. We are going to be rolling that out in October. There is a small additional fee, but it is well worth it. So I definitely would have you consider that. We're actually doing some really cool changes and improvements for VIP. I'm going to be announcing in my VIP page later today or later this week. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right. Carrie says, I've struggled with what I thought was my thyroid for years. I've tried everything, and I mean everything. This is the only thing that has worked for me. Yay! She says, I can't tell you how much I love this program. I've had great results, feel amazing, and can't wait to continue. Oh, I'm so happy. Congrats, Carrie. That is just music to my ears. All right, I'm going to answer just a couple more questions and then I will have to hop off. Denise says, will we have access to exercises on portals between rounds? Yes, if you are joining your follow-up round, you will have access to week 5, 6 of this current round, and you'll be able to do that before starting the next round. All right, Carly says, not looking to lose anymore, but would like to increase muscle. Is that a macro increase across the board or a protein percentage bump in order? Really good question. So again, that's my goal as well, is to increase muscle. What I do is an increase across the board, just simply because I need more carbs to fuel my workout so I can lift really heavy, and then I increase my protein. Protein recommendations in MyFitnessPal, though, tend to be really low. So if you're not close to 100 grams of protein, I would at least set that as your minimum. I'm closer now to about 115 grams of protein. And so, you know, just kind of keep that in mind if that's a big goal of yours. And then, of course, I would consider some BCAAs as well to help with the recovery and building the muscle. Elizabeth says, is there any special focus on menopausal hormones? We do discuss menopause and perimenopause quite a bit in the VIP group. And Allie Dameron, who is a hormone health expert, she works with just thousands of people who are in menopause. And we have a lot of ladies in there in their 50s, 60s, you know, even 40s, 50s, 60s. So yeah, we definitely can serve you well there. The thing about the initial 6-week program, it's our kickstart. I'm educating you guys. You remember how overwhelming prep week was. I can only share so much information in the first 6 weeks, which is why we have the follow-up round to really cement the lifestyle, and then we offer the VIP membership. We've just found that's the best way to serve people in the most effective way and efficient way possible. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I am gonna hop off. Let me know if you have questions through the day, and my client specialist will be on here answering questions. You've done a wonderful job. Next week, we are going to be sharing our before and after photos in addition to our measurements and our wins. I cannot wait to read through those. I love you, ladies, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.